Your sales and marketing funnel is the backbone of your business. It is the pathway that leads prospects, prospective clients, customers, whatever you want to call them. It is the pathway that they take on their journey to purchase from you. And a well done sales marketing funnel can offer you extremely valuable insights into where you may need to put more effort in your sales and marketing tactics. How? KPIs, also known as key performance indicators. These are measurements that you should establish at every stage of your funnel to track the success of that particular stage. A KPI is how you're going to know what stages of your funnel are working and what stages of your funnel need a little bit of extra love. Now, every funnel for every business, no matter what industry you are in, is going to have 3 parts. And you may already be familiar with these, but just stick with me. The top of your funnel, the widest point of your funnel, is the awareness stage. The middle of your funnel is called the consideration stage, and the bottom, or the smallest part of your funnel, is the decision stage. Now, there is copy or content at all 3 of these stages. Copy rules a successful funnel. And if it's written well, your funnel will perform all the better. But if you don't know what kind of content or copy you need, or at what stage of the funnel it should appear, it's not going to work for you the way that you want it to. So let's discuss what your marketing funnel should look like and what content or assets should appear and where. First up, awareness. Awareness is also referred to as top of funnel, or you may see it written as TOFU or tofu. It's all the same thing. It can be broken out into 2 sections. This is very important to know. Even though there are 3 stages to a marketing funnel, each of those stages is actually further broken out into more sections. And again, each section is very important to your overall sales and marketing funnel. So, the 2 sections are building your audience and increasing and segmenting ideal customers. Now, I realize that these sound similar, but they are made by different types of content. They're made different by the types of content that you use to separate the audiences. And here's what I mean by that. At the very top, the tippy top, the entrance point of your funnel, your job is to build up your audience. That means that you want to bring in anyone who has ever had a passing mild interest in the most basic, generic form of whatever it is that you offer. So for this example, let's say you make hand soaps for women that are crafted with grass-fed goat's milk and all natural scents that can only be found in the Rocky Mountains. First of all, way to go on your ideal customer. But at the very top of your funnel, your only focus is to find anyone on the planet that uses hand soap. So, to do that, you use ungated content. Ungated content is content that requires 0 commitment from your interested party. You don't ask them for their email address. You don't ask them for their phone number. You don't ask them for their credit card information. Nothing. Content assets at this stage might include your social media channels. Now, today with social media, you can actually have people pay to get gated content. That's not what we're talking about. We're just talking about general social media posts that people can see publicly, no problem, right? Other content that might appear at this stage, videos. If you make videos and upload them to YouTube, or you upload them to Vimeo and then share them on a social channel. Your blog is another great example, and even paid advertising. Now, again, some people are going to gate some of this content, right? They might gate their social media, they might gate their videos, they might gate their blog, where you have to enter some kind of information from your client, has to insert some kind of information in exchange for your information. That's not the very top of your funnel. That's not what we're talking about. That actually falls into the next stage of awareness, which is why your funnel is broken into multiple sections. So that is the top. Now, the next section of the awareness, the one that falls under that, is the second awareness stage, which again, your job there is increasing and segmenting your ideal customers. So this is essentially a fancy way of saying that you want to generate leads that have a problem relevant to what it is that you're selling. So at this point, you want to narrow your focus slightly. Maybe instead of anyone, anywhere who has ever thought about hand soap, we focus on women because that's your ideal customer for this particular product. This doesn't mean that you won't attract men, perhaps husbands who want to buy their wives soap, for example, but the majority of your leads that you are attracting in this section of your awareness funnel, if done correctly, will be women. A very important note, however, is that at this point in your funnel, this is where you want to start to gate your content. Gated content is content where you ask your lead to give you something unpaid, like an email address, in exchange for the content that they get. And this is an outstanding place to put your lead magnet. It's also the perfect spot for a welcome email sequence. A welcome email sequence is an introduction to who you are, what your business is, why you're here, what you do. It helps to keep you top of mind for people. So for instance, in this example, the next time somebody goes to buy hand soap, you want them to think of you. Really interesting statistic, a welcome email sequence actually has the highest open rate statistically of any email that you will ever send. So if you do not have a welcome email sequence in the awareness stage of your funnel, I would highly recommend that you incorporate one into your business. Again, this video is all about the different types of content that you want at different stages of your funnel. And a welcome sequence is such an integral part of growing your business, of really expressing yourself to new followers and explaining to them why they should want to do business with you. So some key performance indicators, or KPIs, that you can watch or measure at the awareness stage of your funnel includes the cost per click. That is for instance, with advertising, if you're doing paid advertising, the number of clicks you get in exchange for how much you are paying out. Another KPI is click-through rates, how many people are actually clicking to either open your email or clicking on a link in your email. Traffic on your site is another great KPI, bounce rates, as well as unsubscribes. Now, that's the first stage. Let's go on to the middle of your funnel, also called the consideration stage. Unlike the top, the awareness stage, and the bottom, the decision stage, the middle of your funnel actually only has one goal or section, and that goal is lead nurturing. So this is an industry term. Lead nurturing is the act of warming up your leads to your product or your service. When nurtured well, ideal customers will continue down your funnel because they see what you're offering as the perfect solution to their needs. This is where email marketing can really shine, ebooks, infographics, newsletter, testimonials, all additional great content for the middle of your funnel for the types of customers that get to the middle of your funnel. Some really great KPIs to watch for in this section: open rates again, click-through rates, number of downloads, for instance, for a lead magnet, and number of calls that's scheduled. If you book discovery calls, the number of calls that get scheduled based on the content in your funnel is a great KPI to measure if the type of content that you have is working effectively. Now, if you're still here, thank you, and I hope that you're learning a lot. I know that this is a lot of information. I very much appreciate that you are sticking it out, because this is all so important. Now, last but not least is the bottom of your funnel, the decision stage. And this has not one, not two, but 3 different sections. So when you add all that up, and I'm not the greatest with math, but if you add all that up, that actually means that a sales and marketing funnel has not just 3 sections necessarily, but it actually has 3, 4, 5, 6 sections, which is why when you see some of those longer sales funnel pictures and you're like, what the heck, why are there so many different types of sales funnels? For the most part, there's actually only, like I said, just 3 main stages, but you can break each of those stages down even further depending on the type of content and assets that you want to offer. So at the bottom of your funnel, also referred to as, you may hear terms like BOFU. That's bottom of the funnel. BOFU offers, those are like special discounts or special pricing that you might throw at somebody in order to get them to make a decision in your favor. Middle of the funnel, I did not say, is MOFU. Of course it is. Of course it is. So at the bottom of your funnel, this is where you go hard. Sounded a little inappropriate. What I mean is that you are more aggressive in your sales tactics here. You want leads that get to this point of your funnel to really truly consider what it is that you are selling to them. So some content assets that go here, free demos, case studies, proposals. These are all assets that you should be using at this stage of the funnel, depending on what your type of business is and which of these assets would align with your business. So back to our soap example, this is where you're going to give them pricing, bounce rates, click rates, discovery calls. These are all great KPIs to measure at this point of your funnel. In the middle and the bottom of your funnel, in the middle of the bottom of your funnel, because remember, there's 3 different parts to that decision maker stage, right? So that first one that we talked about, with the free demos and the case studies and the proposals, those are all assets that you want to use in the top of the bottom. Does that make sense? So in the middle of the bottom of your funnel, this is also known as the deal or the purchase stage. So this is a great place that you introduce things like special offers, those BOFU offers that I just mentioned, discounts as an asset in order to snag that sale. Additional assets that you might offer here could be scripts for your sales team to help them close the deal. And don't forget to upsell or to cross-sell if you have the opportunity at this stage. Hey, you bought the rosemary scent, you may also like lemongrass, right? Could be potentially easy money to upsell at this stage. KPIs here, very sales focused. How many sales are you getting? How much are you making per sale? Those are some really good indicators of if this part of the funnel is working for you. Now, at the very bottom of your funnel, the bottom of the bottom section, is a section that so many businesses forget about. Yeah, any yeses? Because we've already talked about getting the people in and bringing them down, and I just realized I have a tag still on my shirt. I bought it just for you. I realized very recently that coral is a good color on me. Okay, so we've talked about how we bring people into the funnel. We've talked about how to nurture them down and the type of assets that you need in the middle part of the funnel to bring them down. We talked about how you get them into that decision-making stage, how you get them to actually close the deal. What the heck else is left, right? Okay. Do you remember to thank people after they buy from you? Don't forget to thank them. Show people a little bit of love. At the bottom of the funnel is loyalty, retention, whatever you want to call it. This might actually be the most important part of your entire funnel. Repeat customers have actually been measured to spend an average of, it's over 60, I think it's actually almost 70% more than a new customer. So say you have customer A comes in and they spend $250 on your soaps, but then they never come back, right? They just blow a whole bunch of money and then they never return. And you're so happy that day because, oh my gosh, they spent $250 on your thing. But then you have customer B, and customer B comes in and maybe they only spend about $50, but because they are loyal to you and because they feel like they matter to you through customer retention efforts, they're going to return to you every quarter. And they're going to return to you year after year after year. And maybe they spend anywhere between $25 and $50 every time they visit. So when you add all that up, even though on the surface it might look like customer A is the better customer, retention, customer B, having that customer for a lifetime, is actually a much better customer for your business. And it is so much less expensive to retain customers as opposed to get new ones. It takes so much less effort once you already have somebody hooked than it does to convince somebody new to come in. So don't get so focused at the top of your sales funnel that you neglect the bottom of it. Whew. That's a lot of information. I threw a lot at you, but don't worry, there is a transcript which you should be receiving shortly if you have not already. And in that same email, I'm including a downloadable that can help you visualize where your funnel and assets are versus where they should be. My nose just started running, where they should be to ensure that you have really solid marketing foundation in place. Again, that backbone of your business. And here's the good news. I don't want you to worry if your current funnel is a little bit dinky in relation to some of the assets that we talked about, because you don't need to spend extra money on a copywriter for your business. You can actually purchase lifetime access to my content vault. Inside this vault, you are going to find templates for assets that should appear at all the different stages of your funnel, including step-by-step instructions for why they are important and how to use them. So welcome sequence, pin and cart sequence, scrub sequence, there is a sales page sequence, and I'm going to add a whole lot more in there over time. We're talking cold email scripts, product launch sequences, biography template. I'm going to be adding new templates every single month. So one-time purchase gets you lifetime access to an entire vault of content templates that you can use to set up your marketing foundation for your business. So even if you've been in business for a while, but you're looking to grow and you know that you need more content in order to do that, but you don't necessarily want to hire a copywriter to do it, this vault is for you, because it is filled with templates that you can use either word for word. You can change it up a little bit. You can sprinkle in information about your own business. Voila, instant content. And when you're ready to change up your business a little bit, if it needs a refresh, you go back to the content and you just pull out something different, revitalize it to match your business, and again, voila, there you go. Now, The price is going to go up as the vault gains popularity. So don't wait, because the price that you see it at right now is the lowest price it will ever be. The importance of a well done sales and marketing funnel cannot be overstated, nor can the importance of having great copy.